Whether you do Instacart or food delivery apps, having the right insulated bag is going to make a difference between a mess and a big mess, and it will happen to you. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog, back with more tips for bigger tips and better ratings. Let's hit it. I'm feeling a lot better after getting over my cold, and a funny thing happened last week while I was taking some time off. I got new wheels. Take a look. It was time to trade in my 2010 Ford Explorer. No, nothing was really wrong with it. I've been able to maintain it and keep it going, but the problem is the maintenance was getting more and more difficult to do because of the part shortages that continue to plague the automotive industry, which has resulted in car shortages. And a lot more people now are fixing up their cars. They're doing what I started doing a year ago, fixing up cars. But now it's gotten to the point where if you leave your car with a mechanic, it's not just leaving it with them for 1, 2, maybe 3 days. It's leaving it with them for 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks. So I ain't got time for that. But you know what? The best time to shop for a car is when you don't need one. That way, you're not panic buying with the limited inventory that's out there. You can keep from overpaying or even getting a vehicle that you do not like. For a little while now, I've had my eyes on a Toyota Highlander. It seemed to be very similar to my Ford Explorer. And I'll tell you what, I am not disappointed. I'm in a 2012. It's a very basic model. It's a great car. I love it. It's going to get better gas mileage because it's a 4-cylinder engine versus the 6-cylinder. Yeah, I will miss some of that. But at the end of the day, gas prices are up. I need to cut expenses somewhere. And with Instacart and the food delivery apps, I'm putting on a lot of miles. So this will be good. Now, this vehicle is starting off at 84,000 miles. So it's got a lot of life left in it. I went with the Toyota because of their reputation for having vehicles that will last nearly forever. Here, let's take a quick look around the vehicle. So as I said, it's the 2012 Toyota Highlander. Got this from a small car lot in Pensacola and really happy with it so far. I think I'll be happy with it for a very long time. It's, like I said, about the same size as my Ford Explorer. Let's take a look inside here. It's got plenty of room in here. And I've got my stuff in here. Yeah. My coolers fit just fine. I've got a little less space on the sides, but that is because Toyota, the way they built the third row seat, they put these cup holders and stuff on the side there, which is not what I had in my Explorer. So I do lose a little bit of room on the sides, but I can push these seats up and gain more room lengthwise if I need. So really not bad. And then, of course, my setup. So that phone cord over there, that's going to get figured out soon. I'm looking for new options to vent mounts or whatever will work to keep my phone in a position that will work for me, as well as keep it cool too. I've got some WeatherTech floor liners coming in. This one's a little old, as you can see. That's had some wear, and it is a 2012. It's not bad, but I like the WeatherTech liners. So I mentioned I was going to get a WeatherTech floor liner for the front, just for the front seat on this vehicle. On my Ford Explorer, I had the cargo liner. Now this car came with a cargo liner already, brand new one. So I'm just going to use that for a while and see how that works. But at some point, I probably will get one of those. The reason why I say WeatherTech is because that's a brand that I'm very familiar with. It's a brand that I like. I'm not getting paid for any of this. So don't you think I'm having to pay them just like anybody else does for the products that are going to come in. But I've had issues with food deliveries of stuff spilling, whether it be a drink or whether it just be food leaking through the bag. And you know that a lot of these cheapo bags that the apps or even Instacart will send you, they leak. And, you know, but the best bags that don't leak, these Arctic Zone bags. Now, if my very first video on this channel was about coolers versus insulated bags, you see I still have the coolers. and I still stand by those. These are great for their own purposes. I can use these for food deliveries. I can use these for overflow bags for Instacart for when those coolers get full. That's an issue here in the summertime when people are buying bags of ice, and then I still have all their produce, and I have their frozen items and dairy items. So these bags do come in handy. What I really like about these bags, and I've talked about these briefly in that first video, and it's something I did not discuss, was these things don't leak. They're easy to clean. They insulate very, very well. You can get these at BJ, Sam's Club, maybe Costco, I don't know, for about 10 bucks, but they're great bags. So this summer I was doing a delivery from a pretty high-end restaurant, and they packed that bag full, whatever, so they fit very nicely into this. These are massive bags, by the way, great for doing Outback orders, Cracker Barrel orders, and the like. And he had some soup in there. Well, the way that the restaurant packed the bag, it leaked. And it went all over his bag and then into mine. I didn't realize it until the customer called me afterwards. This was an Uber Eats delivery. And so the customer called me, said, "Did you know this thing was leaking?" I said, "No, I do not." And I said, "Shoot, I probably have a big mess." So I went and checked the bag. Sure enough, there was a mess in the bag. But luckily, it was contained to the bag. So I checked the floor mat underneath. There was nothing there. Now, fortunately, if it had leaked through, I would have been fine with that floor liner. I would just clean that out too. But, you know, so I keep a spray bottle of cleaner in here. I'm still learning my vehicle. Here it is. I keep a spray bottle of just ordinary glass cleaner. It's great for cleaning multiple surfaces. Cleans those bags up very nicely. I don't use ammonia. I buy the ones that don't have ammonia in them. It just smells better and I think works better too. So those Arctic Zone bags will keep your food hot for a longer period of time, or if you're carrying ice, will keep that ice cold for a nice long period of time. And then when your customer gets those items, that food's either going to be hot or that ice is not going to be melted, and they will be very happy and give you a bigger tip. Okay, rant time. I do a lot of food deliveries, and I am appalled at the large number of food delivery drivers that do not use any kind of an insulated bag. It is almost like they would be cursed if they touched one. You know, so when I come in, I get a lot of thank yous from the restaurants for using those bags. Now, some of the apps will give you reminders. Hey, you got to use your hot food bags. Others just don't seem to care. They don't push the issue that much. But folks, you're delivering somebody's food. It could take 10, 15, 20 minutes from the time they make it to the time you get it to the customer. Sometimes maybe even a little bit longer. You may have a stacked order, whatever. Just do the right thing if you're doing food deliveries and get insulated bags. Because I'll tell you what, if I was a customer and someone showed up at my door without an insulated bag, you might have an issue with me. I hope you found this video useful, and I appreciate you giving it a like and subscribe so you don't miss more tips for bigger tips and better ratings. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Until next time, go get 'em!